How are you doing? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Doreen Moraja, the amazing founder and host of this YouTube channel. I post videos every Friday. I'm so sorry that in the last 2 Fridays of July, I was not able to post after the International AIDS Conference and the launch of the Youth Hub. If you want to catch up with that, you can see on my previous video what I'm talking about. And thank you to everybody who actually supported that. I am very appreciative. If you still want to join the Youth Hub and you are a young leader below the age of 30 involved in the HIV response, then this is your moment to shine. You can check my social media handles and see the post I shared about how to join the Youth Hub. Today I am very happy because I'm celebrating 2 birthdays. Okay, not today rather, but on 8th of August, 2 days from now, my YouTube channel will be turning 2 years old, and myself, I will be turning 29 years old. So there's a double celebration. And as I told you before, gather yourself small. Send me M-Pesa messages, bank alerts, Western Union, MoneyGram, PayPal, Bitcoin, whatever it is, just send it, okay? So welcome back, everyone. And this day, as I am heading towards 29, like it's 2 days to 29, I want to share a little bit about myself, especially if you're new and you're just getting to see this video, and also to share basically about the few lessons that I have learned for the 28 years that I've been alive, and how it has taken me this whole time to live a positive, normal life with HIV. So first of all, I was born with HIV. I'm a third born to a family of 4 children. The rest of my siblings are HIV negative. I am the only one with HIV, and my little brother who actually passed on. My parents are a HIV discordant couple. They have been married for over 30 years. I did a story with them last year on my birthday. So they are both my father is HIV negative and my mother is HIV positive. Discordant couples exist. I have also done a video about that, but probably it's a topic that we need to divulge into further. Discordant couples exist, and they actually stay together, just like my mom and my dad. What else? I have lived with HIV for now 29 years, almost 29 years rather, and I have been on ARV since 2005, which is 16 years later. And I was diagnosed 21 years ago. But why I did not start ARVs that time was because at that particular moment when I was diagnosed, there were no ARVs, and ARVs were made possible, or rather public and free, in 2004. So one of the things that ARVs, or rather free ARVs, and basically the whole scientific technology helped is in actually giving hope to people living with HIV, that they could now change the narrative that HIV is no longer a death sentence, which actually my life, and because I share my lived experience living with HIV, it exhibits it, that HIV is no longer a death sentence. But that does not mean that you live recklessly, that you do not take care of your health or your sexual health, rather. It just means that if you're HIV negative, please stay negative, and if you're HIV positive, kindly start your ARVs and learn to adapt and adjust to the situation. So today I am doing a video on not just how I have lived with HIV, because at some point I even stopped taking my ARVs in the year 2011 when I traveled to Loliondo. I don't know if you've seen the Babua Loliondo who passed on last week. Yes, I was among people who went to Babua Loliondo, and we drank the Babua Loliondo's cup, and here we are. My mom and I drank it. My mom stopped taking her ARVs for 3 months. I stopped for 2 years, but then opportunistic infections took me back to my ARVs. So lessons that I have summed up as a person living with HIV, especially as a young woman living with HIV. First thing is, stigma is going to happen. Most of the time, it's going to come from your friends and your family and the people just near you. And you have to learn to adapt and adjust. People have negative mentalities about HIV. People are still ignorant. I know it's 2021, we are supposed to be better people, but unfortunately we are not. So you have to learn that that will happen. Stigma will happen. Your family, your friends, they will stigmatize you. It is a fact. I am speaking from experience, but it does not mean that you're a bad person. It just means that they are senseless people and you cannot do anything about it. Okay? Thing two, you are going to be rejected. You are going to be rejected. Trust me. It is real. Rejection, it's real. It hurts. It stings. People will look at you. Dating is super tricky for people living with HIV because you have to face the realities of disclosure. Rejection will happen. It doesn't mean that you are less of a human being or you are unlovable. It just means that you are dealing with people who don't have sense, again, in 2021. But it does not mean that you can find a person of your own. It just means that you have to look a little bit harder and you have to be a little bit more patient than everybody else. Because remember, even people who are not living with HIV still get hurt by love each and every other day, and they still get rejected. So dating is a muddy pool. It is very muddy, okay? But we have to move regardless, okay? The third thing is your ARVs are mandatory. It's not a choice. It's not something that you wake up and say, oh God, I can skip today. No. Because the minute you do that, it means that you're giving your HIV status power. And if you're giving your HIV status power, it means that you don't want to live anymore. It's like a patient on life support choosing to not live. So please choose life each and every other day. Another thing, acceptance is a lifelong journey. It's not an event. It's a process. You don't wake up and say, yay, I've accepted myself. You can accept yourself today and be okay with living with HIV, and then tomorrow you're just not okay with it. It is a process and you take every day as it comes. Disclosure, very tricky subject, very tricky question. But do you know what? Still, you have to take it one day at a time. Figure out who you're disclosing to, figure out if they really deserve your disclosure, and then ensure that now I'm doing it or I am not doing it. Remember that just because you're living with HIV does not mean that you cannot get a reinfection. You can always get reinfected. That is why you have to insist on using a condom. Because if you don't know the HIV status of that person you're about to have unprotected sex with, whether you are undetectable or not, you still need to use protection so that you do not get reinfected or get other STIs. Another thing, you are going to face hard days. They will be there. The days that your mental health will just be like all over the place. You will be anxious, you will be depressed, you will have all of these things going through your mind, and you're wondering if this is the life you want. Those things happen. It's normal. Take it easy. Breathe. Okay? Take a step back, because that is part of life. That is now life. Okay? And you have to face it whether you like it or not. It's part of being an adult. It's part of living with HIV. Life does not stop, or life does not cut you some slack just because you're living with HIV. It still throws all of the hard balls at you. But how do you handle them? That is the $1 million question. Don't always be the person who said, if I did not have this HIV. No. HIV is just the condition that decided that you will be its superhost. But life does not stop, or it does not become kind just because you are living with HIV. So you must be tough. Most days you will find that the only support system you have is you, and you have to ensure that having you as your own support system, then you are actually making the best out of every situation. Another thing, Your nutrition is super important, because you don't want to have poor nutrition that ends up giving you non-communicable diseases. Because remember, I always told God, and I told him, God, I can only handle HIV. I cannot handle any other disease apart from this one. So ensure that as you are handling HIV, you're also living it healthily, so that you do not attract other opportunistic infections. What else did I want to say? I wanted to say that there are days that you will need support. There are days you will need people to talk to. Find somebody, a random stranger, a person you don't know on the internet, anybody. But above all, if you really feel pressed to talk to somebody, there are toll-free numbers that offer counseling, and you can always just call them and ensure that you talk to someone. Okay, somebody just listens to you and even prays with you. Okay, and just so that you can be strong, not only for yourself but for the people around you, the family, the friends. Okay, you need to be strong at the end of the day. But the major lesson that I have learned is your attitude towards living with HIV is very important. It's very important in ensuring that your drugs work. It's very important in ensuring that you become undetectable. It's very important in ensuring that your HIV does not have more power over your life than it actually should be. You cannot expect the world to love you if you do not love yourself. That is one thing I have always preached and I have always talked about. For the world to love you, you need to love yourself. Self-love is super important. Love yourself, believe in yourself like you are a religion, because you are the only person who illuminates the light or the love that you need the world to give back to you. So if you don't love yourself enough, trust me, the world will not love you enough. If you show pity, the world gives you pity. If you show sadness, the world gives you sadness. So however you want to be treated is how you actually treat yourself. So treat yourself with love, treat yourself like a king or a queen, because that is actually your status. Okay, so as I finish, I just want to say that we are all greater than HIV. We are very amazing hosts to this tiny virus, and we are beautiful stories. So don't give up, don't feel sad, don't feel that you're less of a human being. You are amazing and you're awesome. And HIV should not limit you. So don't give it the power to limit you. Okay? So up to this moment, I hope to see you again next week. Please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and leave a very lovely comment and send me money. And happy birthday to me one more time, and a happy birthday to my YouTube channel. Here is to another year around the sun. Bye-bye.